Alright, this week really focusing on getting the right fingers used for each of the patterns that we'll be working with predominantly. So, even though I'll typically need to use my ring finger for the whole step, I'll try and use my middle just to have a better demonstration here for you. Another thing, because I notice every time that we do the lesson, you always have a clean channel on, and I'm wondering, do you ever practice with distortion? Because if you want to play the heavy stuff, the distortion, the distorted stuff, you got to make sure you practice with that on too, because there's muting techniques that need to be consistently addressed when you have distortion on, because it's really easy to have unwanted noise when distortion's going. So if you can, start practicing with distortion more, so this way we can start making sure that the right and left hand are doing their job of muting things properly. Alright, 60 beats per minute, number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 90, 1, 2, 3, 4. 120, 1, 2, 3, 4. 150, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 180, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Number 2. 60. 1, 2, 3, 4. 90. 1, 2, 3, 4. 120, 1, 2, 3, 4. 50, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 180, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So number 3, different arpeggios here. So I just label each of the chords that you're arpeggiating here, and then after getting all that stuff labeled, I just want to focus on one thing at a time. So what I mean by that is, like, you stick with this one until you can play the whole thing, no mistakes. So like the first progression here would sound like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. I missed the string. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, So with this progression having the same shape every time, it'll certainly make it easier. So once you get through that once, you're good. And then just stick with this one until you get it all correct, and then move on to the next one. So no need to continue coming back and redoing it. So one and done, that's it. So you can focus on, like 2 per day. That would be fine. So here where it starts getting more complicated, I will start to move one finger at a time as I build the chord. So show you what I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4. How I missed the string again? Good lord. 1, 2, 3, 4. So like pinky first here. Pinky again. So kind of like stack fingers, one at a time when needed. There are some similar shapes or similar fingers being used, one shape to the next. So like, that's something to watch for when you're going through these. Like with this progression here, like your index finger is kind of where it needs to be. You're just going to be sliding up from that first chord to the second chord and making that bar. So, because your index is going to be on the G string here and on that next chord. Now getting to this progression where it gets more complicated. So instead of like thinking like you have to get your entire hand down the new shape right away, I'm looking at it as like, okay, the pinky needs to go down and then the rest can follow. Now when I'm transitioning to the next one here, the ring finger is actually going to be on the same string. So ring finger is on the D string right now. So you're transferring from that first chord to the second chord there. Ring finger can stay on that string where it slides down fret, pinky goes down, and then make sure the index gets down near the end there. So you can practice just go between any of the 2 chords just over and over again until it starts to become comfortable. And then going from the 5 chord to the 6 chord here. Yeah. Position 5, position 6. So yeah, 5th chord to the 6th chord. So these 2 fingers, they're going to be used in the next chord shape. So you're just sliding down 2 frets, taking the pinky off, and then barring with that index finger. And then going to the 4 chord here. Well, you've already got 2 fingers needed for that next chord, so you just release the bar and put the pinky down. And then going from the 4 chord back to start here, the 1 chord. So ring finger is already on the string it needs to be on. Just slide it up to the 10th fret, and then you add the other 2 fingers. So looking for things like that is helpful. Let's see. Like going from the 6th chord to the 4 chord here, you don't have to do much at all. Like you have these 2 fingers down already, and then you just add your ring finger, and you're already in that next chord shape. And then when you go to the next chord, like the whole progression here. So when you go from the 4 chord to the 1 chord, you're just dropping those 2 fingers down the string, and then for going into the next chord, the 5 chord, well, you just got to move everything. However, your 3rd and 2nd are in like the same shape here. So you see that look like this? They look the same here. Holding the 3 and 2, then the 5 and 4. Just adding that index finger. So just kind of being aware of stuff like that's helpful. So see if you can find any other things on your own, like any anchor fingers, if you're just kind of adding 1 finger or taking 1 finger away, just trying to find the easiest way from 1 chord to the next. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you again next week.